Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptomancer, where we feature content on play-to-earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And today I wanted to discuss the topic of Doctor Blight. We had yesterday's AMA special with the Splinterlands dev team, and Aggro made his theatrical appearance as Doctor Blight, which was pretty fantastic. Actually, if you look at the passion these guys have for the game, it's awesome. But they released the stats for Doctor Blight. Now these aren't final; they could change. But if you look at the stats here on the screen, this card is fantastic. It is a legendary neutral card, um, which means it can be used for any splinter. And if you look at the abilities here, it is a good mix of support and magical attack. So it has some functionality as well, not just support only. 4 cost, 2 magic damage. It's slow with 1 speed, but can be really fast with reverse speed scenarios. And it's got low health, 3 health here, which isn't great, but it's also got the scavenger ability. So every time it's doing damage, it's increasing its health over time. If you look at the abilities it has Affliction, which prevents creatures from healing. It's got Slow. It's got Poison, which does an additional 2 damage. And it has Weaken, which takes hit points off the opponent's team. So it's just really a great all-around card. It does support, it does damage through poison, it builds itself up over time. It's low cost, it's neutral. Just a great card. But the question becomes is, what is like the going price for this card going to be once it hits the market in just a few weeks, right? So it's only going to be available with the pre-sale, with the vouchers, right? So for every 50 packs, you're going to get a guaranteed drop of this card when you purchase 50 packs. So with there being, if we do the math on that, with 1,000,000 packs, divided by a maximum, if everyone bought in increments of 50, right, you're going to get 20,000 is the max supply of Dr. Blight. There's obviously a lot more players than 20,000, so if you want to use Dr. Blight in your deck and you're going to level him up to, let's say, level 4 to gain all these abilities, which is 11 cards, 20,000 divided by max level, now you're down to 2,000 Dr. Blights in the game. So it's not like he's going to be super available. But what do we have to compare him with other cards in the game? Well, I think there's 3 cards that could be comparable if we look at possible values in the marketplace. One of those cards is the Lord of Fire here. The Lord of Fire is a 3-cost mana card. It is an older card, right? So it's going to give greater collection power. But 3-cost mana, 1 archery damage, 2 speed, 4 health. But if you look at its abilities, it has Strengthen, it has Silence, it has Affliction, and it has Shatter. So it's not exactly the same as a Dr. Blight. Strengthen is the opposite of Weaken, right? Silence, we don't really have a comparison for on Dr. Blight. Affliction we have on Dr. Blight, and Shatter, not exactly comparable to Dr. Blight. So it's not an exact comparison, but again, this card is a low-cost card. It has a lot of support abilities, not a lot of attack abilities necessarily. If you look at the pricing on this, right now the low card price is $349 on the marketplace, and the total max supply of this card is 4,297. So Dr. Blight will be about 5 times more available than this Lord of Fire card at $349. So what other options do we have? Well, another option that we could look at is Spirit Druid Grog. So Spirit Druid Grog is an Earth legendary, 5 mana, also 1 speed, low health at 1, but it does have the Life Leech ability, which will slowly ramp up its health over time, similar to Dr. Blight. It also has 2 magic damage, as it increases in levels. It has Resurrect, which Dr. Blight doesn't have. It does have the Slow, which Dr. Blight has. And it has Headwinds, which is a -1 to archery damage, which may be similar to the Weaken on Dr. Blight. So it's not an exact comparison. This card isn't as much an attack card as Dr. Blight is with Affliction and Poison and Scavenge, right? But it's more support. It's a little bit weaker. It's selling for $49 on the market, and there's 10,000 of a max supply here, 10,000 cards max supply. So it's about half as available as Dr. Blight will be. Now the third card and the final card that we could compare for pricing purposes would be the Black Dragon. So the Black Dragon is a 6 mana cost dragon card, 2 speed, 4 health. It does have flight, which makes it also faster. At max level, it does 3 magic damage. It has the Life Leech, which is similar to the Scavenge ability of Dr. Blight. It has Slow, which Dr. Blight has, and it has Strengthen, which is the opposite of Weaken, which Dr. Blight has. It being a dragon card, it's similar to neutral. Actually, neutral is obviously better than dragon. But if you look at this pricing, a Black Dragon in the market is about $134 per card, and the total cards printed is 10,000. So again, about half as many as Dr. Blight. But I would argue that the Black Dragon, due to its dragon status and its magic damage and its affliction, it's probably the closest to a support attack combo card as Dr. Blight is. So if we're looking for what might be a fair market value for Dr. Blight, I think the Black Dragon is a good comparison. At 134 for a Black Dragon BCX, if we look at 10,000 total supply and Dr. Blight being 20,000, you could say, well, maybe half the price of Black Dragon would be a fair market value for Dr. Blight. And that would be about $65 to $68 per card value of Dr. Blight. And I think that's probably a good spot for this card's value. And the reason I say that, if you look at another Chaos Legion card that we do have pricing data on, it's Jin Oshanas. That also is a very valuable card. It's legendary. It's definitely something that's desirable for pretty much all players at all levels, similar to Dr. Blight. And it's pricing at about $50. And I would say Dr. Blight is a better card overall because of its neutral affiliation, as well as its just general use in all decks. So $65 to $68 is certainly higher than $50, which is where we would probably think is reasonable. So I guess if we look at this comparison, my anticipation is that Dr. Blight's market value will be around the $65 to $70 range after things settle and the FOMO dies down after the initial release of the card. Now the question becomes is, do you want to keep your vouchers, keep 50 vouchers available, and buy 50 card packs to get a guaranteed $65 to $70 card? The packs themselves are $4 each, so for 50 packs you're paying $200 to get access to Dr. Blight airdrop for free, and then the vouchers, about $16 a voucher times 50. Quick math, that's about $800 in vouchers. So you're looking at about $1,000 investment to get one free, let's say $70 value card. You do the math. Let me know what you're doing with vouchers with Dr. Blight, and is this a must-have card for your deck? Until next time, keep stacking those stats.
That's entertainment.